Gotta plug in my phone. Got to plug in my phone. Digital gods, what's happening? How are you? Getting this thing rolling here on a Monday night. Is it a Monday night? Damn. Time's weird. It feels like yesterday was a Monday night. That means a whole week's gone by and I have been unconscious. Am I late? I think they're picking on you, Emilio's wife. I wouldn't put up with that crap. Don't let those irregulars pick on you. Am I late? Am I late? Wow, 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 wow. 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 Oh, I can't go any bigger than that. Wow, 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 wow. Shit, Amelia's wife beat me. I'm definitely late. They're definitely trolling you now. At least the trolls in here are fun, right? AI Learning Lab, we have the best trolls in town. Oh, man. Back from therapy hot tub? Oh, from the back therapy hot tub. Man, there's so many ways you could phrase that sentence. From the back therapy hot tub. From the back therapy hot tub. From the back therapy hot tub. Yeah, it's words, punctuation. Semantic clustering. We're large language models, all of us. How do these here words work? Words. I like words. Words are tasty. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. This is the AI Learning Lab. My name's Kyle Shannon. We'll wait for some more folks to get in. Share Bear, what's happening? So happy it's this time of day. I'm a little sleepy tonight. I'm like, I don't think I have the energy to do this. But then I get in here and I have fun. So, let's see. What are we doing? We're gonna get started. If you would be so kind, if you haven't already, share the live. Just let people know we're here. Or like Share Bear, share some gummies. Thank you for the gummies. I appreciate those. Gummies is tasty. I like gummies. Gummies is tasty. They're all sugar. But they're so dainty. Saw your post about ChatGPT. Yeah, holy crap. What a morning. The first thing I woke up to was AWS invest $4 billion or up to $4 billion in Anthropic, so Claude. So you know my happy little chart. Oh, I had to quit. Hang on. Let me restart Edge. And then I'll restart Keynote. But number 2 at the adults table is Claude.ai. Well, that company, a minority investment from AWS for $4 billion. Minority investment, so less than 50%. I don't know what it puts the valuation at, but it's not a little. And so now you've got Google, Meta, OpenAI, Microsoft, Apple, Oracle, and Cohere, and then AWS and Anthropic. So there's 6. There's probably 2 more that I have either missed or just going to be in that mix. So somewhere between 8 and 10 major competitors with this ChatGPT stuff. And you know how I've been talking about Gemini's coming and Gemini's going to be big, and I think the announcement today from OpenAI is a preemptive let's get this shit launched kind of thing, because they announced Dolly a week or no 4 days ago, and then they announced ChatGPT can talk, listen, and see today. So we're headed for some wacky times. You know, it's funny. Wait, where's my presentation? Here it is. So, yeah, so $10 billion investment there, $4 billion investment there. Who knows how many billions Google is spending on Bard. Bing, that's part of that's the 10 billion. Pi, 1.3 billion raised. Poe and Perplexity, they've probably only raised like 100 million, slackers. Never a dull moment here in AI land. All right, welcome everyone. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. I'm just getting started here, as you can see, as evidenced by my lack of professionalism, being ready. I've got nothing but the best equipment here. I've got Sony 1.5" Betamax equipment running here. It's 1970s broadcast. No, that'd be 1980s. 1980s broadcast equipment. I mean, it could be a phone, but it's probably 1980s broadcast equipment because I'm a professional. Look at those eyebrows. You think those just grow? No. That's a professional makeup artist that installs them like that. That level of coarseness you can't get from a human body. Thanks, Ion China. And if you're like, but Kyle, is all we talk about here your hair and your eyebrows? Pretty much. Why is it called the AI Learning Lab? I don't know. People keep showing up. You're welcome to ask me my qualifications. I'm happy to talk about that. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a founder and CEO of a company called Storyvine. That part's true. The eyebrow thing, not so much. I'm just old. I'm old and tired. I'm old and tired. I'm like, I'm trying a TikTok. TikTok's good. You like the TikTok? I like the TikTok. Sir, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, listen, Huberto, 564. This is how we start here. And I have a hair in my mouth. This is just... see, now, there you go, digital gods. That's the perfect hat for this moment. This is absolute chaos. Huberto, the nickname for this channel is Chat ADD. If I don't start out in chaos, everyone's disappointed. You got to start out with madness. And then the people that stick around are like, I gotta just see what happens here. I'm fairly certain the guy's stroking out live on the internet. And then it just goes from here. But here's what we do here. I got these slides. I got slides with a bunch of sites that I recommend. If you're new to generative AI, that's what this site, or that's what this live is all about. That's what my channel's all about. I've been an entrepreneur for decades. I've started 12, 13, 14, 15 companies in my day. I was an entrepreneur in the mid-90s when the World Wide Web first came out. Thanks, Clint. And I was there for the early days of the World Wide Web. And that was fucking insane. And then this stuff came along. And this stuff's more insane. And faster. And way more powerful. Profoundly more powerful. So there's that. And that's what we talk about. Can we talk about the future of work? We can talk about the future of work, and I'm happy to talk about that. Why don't I bring you up on stage? If you're around. You may not be. But if not, just pop what you want to talk about. Clint, am I late? Pop what you want to talk about in the comment there. Beauty.
There's no way.
Hello. Wait. She said there's no way. And then she disappeared. Anyway, yeah, I'm happy to talk about the future of work. Um, Tell me what you want to focus on. It's such a broad topic. You should do 3 minutes. People pop in the box. Wait, people pop in the box? I don't know what that means. Here, I should do 3 minutes. You mean like 3 minute stand up? This whole channel is like a fucking 2 hours stand up without the. It's like comedy without the laughs. You get it? Oh, yeah. Hey, I get no respect. Yeah, see? Yeah. All right. Um, so here's what we're gonna do. If you're no Rodney Dangerfield, I know Rodney Dangerfield and Andrew Dice Clay were like two different eras, but the same level of annoying. And then for me, it was who was the other one? Gilbert Gottfried. It was just like all of them, just like shut the fuck up. Okay, so if you are new to this AI stuff, let me do a little before we jump into esoteric topics like the future of work, which is not esoteric at all. It's actually profoundly important, and I have no answers. I'm happy to talk about it, but I have no answers. I have thoughts about what I think's coming. But before we jump into that, these three sites right here are what I call the adult table. These are the sort of top three of the large language models that I play with. If you haven't played with any of these things, if you've heard about people talking about AI or ChatGPT or all this stuff, and you're like, I don't know what it is. What do I do here? Just go there right now, that one. Chat.openai.com. That's the official ChatGPT website. Yeah, I'll let me run through these things, and then I'll bring you up again. So ChatGPT is the official website. Claude.ai is kind of their biggest competitor. And this morning, Amazon announced that they're investing $4 billion in Anthropic, the company behind Claude.ai. So those two, they've been at the top of my list for a while now. They are now officially, big boy and girl rivals. That's pretty serious. And then they got, Google nipping at their heels. ChatGPT today announced, this is fucking insane. In 2 weeks, so within 2 weeks, I'm doing a workshop a week from Wednesday, and people are going to know how do I do prompting, and I'm going to be like, well, how you do prompting today is this, but in 2 weeks, this is going to happen. Let me go to openai.com/blog. ChatGPT can now see, hear, and speak. So this is coming in 2 weeks. Speak with ChatGPT and have it talk back. Remember how I always talk about Pi? Pi is Chatty GPT. Well,
we want to hear a bedtime story. Tell us a story about the super duper sunflower hedgehog named Larry.
Larry's back.
Start with telling us a little bit about him. Larry was a unique hedgehog, unlike any other.
Yep.
He had bright.
So it's going to talk. It's also going to be able to take any of your ChatGPT 4 stuff and just say it.
Once in a tranquil woodland, there was a
Larry.
fluffy mama cat
I know,
named
exactly.
Lila. One sunny day, she cuddled with her playful kitten.
Then it can see shit. You can upload images and ask it about it. It gives what I think is the world's dumbest example, but it's at least clear that this is usable by, non-scientists. I think what's interesting about this example is if someone is using a computer, Larry's back. That's good, digital gods. Look, I'll tell you that there's an inside joke with Larry the Hedgehog, but digital gods just made a nice old terrifying Larry, zombie Larry. So this example, I'll play this video here, and you'll see how kind of dumb it is. And if there were actually a human being on Earth that were actually doing this. Like the problem that's trying to be solved here is how do I raise or lower my bike seat? Which I suppose that might not be painfully obvious, but anyway, check out what this thing can do. Picture of a bike. Help me lower my seat. Oops. Wait, let me go back for a second. So it says, if you have the tools, show me and I'll guide you further, right? So it tells the person what to do, and then it says, if you have the tools, show me. This is where it gets kind of stupid. Takes a picture of the little clamp. So it recognized it didn't have a lever, but it has an Allen wrench, so it recognizes that. Chippy! That's Champy. If you haven't met Champy, Champy sings whenever guitars play. Silver Fox. I love Champy. He's the best. So anyway, it read the guy's manual, looked at his toolbox and said, pull out the 4mm Allen key. So it can see. So anyway, that's that. The voice capabilities are interesting. So the only thing that they're allowing the voice capabilities to do right now are the chat, where they've sort of pre-recorded professional voiceover actors doing that voice that read the Larry book. And then they're also talking about they did work with Be My Eyes, and a mobile app for blind and low vision people. So this is going to dramatically help accessibility in the blind community. And then what else did they say they were doing? Oh, they've got a deal with Spotify. So there's a handful of creators that they're allowing to do multilingual stuff where they're translating into other languages for some high profile creators like Lex Friedman. And then they're going to slowly roll it out to other creators. So they're starting with this capability in a kind of hermetically sealed environment. But, I showed that video of me speaking Italian where it actually syncs the lips up. This doesn't do that. This isn't video yet. This is just image, voice, and whatever it was. Voice. Oh, and it can hear you. So anyway, so this is coming within 2 weeks. Now, what does this mean for prompting? I don't have a clue. Like, if you've gotten really good at prompting ChatGPT now, like, all bets are off. It's like a whole different game because it's a whole different set of capabilities. So things you may have worked around and workflows you may have created where I'll start in ChatGPT and then I'll go over to this thing, then I'll go to that thing, then I'll come back. DALL-E 3 is going to be built into this probably in the same time frame, probably in the next 2 weeks. You can talk to it, so you might use GPT-4 instead of Pi for conversational stuff. It's just wild. It's still not connected to the internet, so we'll see if they bring that back. So that's that. Let's see. Bard. So the third of the adult table, the third one, they've got this thing coming out called Gemini, which is supposed to be 5 times better than GPT-4. I do not believe that. I think that's horseshit. I think that's someone in the marketing department just got their marketing degree. Say it's 5 times better. No one will even check. They will. But even if it's as good, and I think, why did OpenAI release their stuff this week? Probably because Gemini is eminent. So these three are going to get really interesting really fast. Then you have the kids table. Bing, at some point, I'll ungrade Bing. Bing is Microsoft's version of GPT-4, so it's going to get all this stuff too. So basically, as OpenAI rolls out the stuff, they'll roll it out in Bing. Perplexity, that's Llama's model. Apparently, Facebook is launching some chatbots with personality on Facebook and Instagram in the next week or two, so that might start getting interesting. Pi is the company called Inflection. They're the ones that raised $1.3 billion. It's very chatty. And then Poe. Okay, so someone just asked about the Discord invite. So tomorrow night, Tuesday night, we have the next meeting of the AI Salon. So this is the URL for the link tree for the salon. And the third link on there is the invite to the Discord. The second link on there is the meetup group where you can find out about the meeting tomorrow night. And then the first link is about the salon and what our values are and things like that. All right. And then what else? What else we got? We'll do one more thing here. So image stuff. This page is like, take a screenshot of this because this is a collector's item. This is about to go, a lot of this is about to go bye-bye. No guarantee I can help, but I'm more than happy to help with the more technical stuff. That's cool. Pate is in here. Pate works for Google and works on the TensorFlow side of the house. And it's welcome. So if you have technical questions, Pate can likely answer them. For the image things, Midjourney's the best. Ideogram can do words. Leonardo's a really good website built on top of Stable Diffusion. HeyGen is a voice synthesis and image animation thing, but it can do foreign language translations with synced up lips. It's mind-blowingly good, but you have to pay for it to not get thrown into a really long queue. I did a Mandarin translation, what was it, 4 days ago now or 5 days ago? It still hasn't rendered. And then openart.ai, thank you, Dragonfly, Alchemy, that's very nice. Openart.ai/promptbook is just like a primer that will teach you about these large language models. It was written for Stable Diffusion, but it really applies to all of them. Okay, so you have a training on these AI tools. May I have some help? So, okay. Good segue. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you for whoever pinned that. So starting a week from Wednesday is a 3-part workshop that I'm doing in conjunction with another creator named Rhonda Phillips. And it's designed for creatives, but quite frankly, this is going to be useful for anyone that wants to learn AI. So rhondasvoice.com/events. I'm the one doing the workshop. It'll be from 7 to 9 Eastern time on October 4th, October 11th, and October 18th. Those are Wednesdays, I'm pretty certain. And we'll be recording it, and the recordings will be available, I think, for 2 months after you've taken the workshop. You can either buy individual workshops or you can buy all 3 for a discount. So that's there. And what this channel is about, the question was, do I have tutorials on this? I don't have anything prepackaged right now. I'll answer any question. That's what this channel's about. I'm going to bring Ann Fundraising up here in a moment, and we're going to talk about future work stuff. But ask any questions, and the mods will post any interesting questions you have. I'll also go through and sort of pull things out randomly. So if you want to know specific things about how to do this stuff, just let me know and I will do it. So let's talk future work. All right. Hey, Ann, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing? How do I make this do my video?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Oh, click,
I've never done this before.
click
Oh, there
on.
we go.
You got it.
Yeah.
All
Can you
right.
see me?
Not yet. Oh wait.
Oh,
How do I? I might need to flip my camera. Flip camera. No, I don't see you. Wait. You can invite
I see me.
to turn on their camera
Oh, here
again
we
in
go.
40 seconds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, ask me to do that again in 40 seconds then.
Yeah.
Or
Okay. Yeah.
whatever.
You can't say
Hey,
no.
so I've so I have asked you a little bit. I asked you about the future of work and to get your thoughts on that. And I just want to kind of like say how it came up for me.
Yeah.
And it's just I feel like lately I've been spending more time reflecting on what the future of work is going to be like than I have learning new skills,
Yeah.
which has
Me
been
too.
nice for my brain. But Bernie Sanders said that thing, I think last week about, well, okay, that's great. People are going to be working less, but who's to whose benefit? Is it to the workers' benefit to work faster?
Hmm.
Or is it to the owners' benefit for the workers to work faster?
Well.
Or better, or whatever in a capitalist society, you know?
Yeah. 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 So. This is. I've been thinking a lot about this too, and I think that it's going to take us a long time to shake the industrial revolution mindset of productivity is the ultimate game. And so
Yep.
one of the things that I keep hearing from people is that here, let me see if I can if invite the camera up now. Has it been 40 seconds? There you go. You should be able to say yes to that now.
I can see myself here.
Yeah.
It's offering me a bunch of effects. Here we go. I don't feel like I don't know what effect I would need. Sorry about this, everybody. I just literally
All right.
don't know how to do it.
All right, that's fine. We'll
Uh,
just hear your lucid
okay.
tones. I see you on live all the time. So uh, your camera ready. I know that. Um,
I am camera ready.
so my thought on the efficiency thing. There's a couple. One is a recent kind of revelation that I've had that these tools, while they're going to produce dramatic productivity gains, that's not the only thing they're going to do. Wait, now all of a
For
sudden
sure.
your icon changed. Hello, I can see you a
Me.
little bit now.
Hi. Hi.
Hey, can I move you around? No. Oh, let's see. What do I do? Do that? I don't know. Oh, there you
Oh
are.
dear. Hi,
How's life?
everybody.
That's cool.
Hi,
Uh,
Paige. Hi, Nestor.
yeah. What's that? Oh, that's switching my camera. That's
Oh,
that.
there we
All right.
go. That's
All right.
better.
Um, so everyone's talking about productivity gains. When it comes to productivity gains, I think that companies are going to have two choices, right? So the thing that I've talked about before is just in kind of I have an acting degree level of understanding of economics. You have all of the people that can work working at this level, producing this level in the economy, right? Like that's generally how it works, right? It goes up and down, but for
Yeah.
the most part, that's we've had whatever century and a half to figure this shit out, and we've gotten it to where we are. So now you're going to introduce a tool that dramatically increases productivity and at the same time lowers the need for as many people to do that. It's both, right? So so
Yes.
so there's going to create this gap. So what Bernie's saying and what Bernie would always say is, well, let's just assume that this gap is going to the top of 1%, right? So he's saying don't do that. I think that if you're talking about companies that have been funded by private equity firms and things like that, the minute they see a productivity increase, they're going to say, fire the people. I don't think all
Mm-hmm.
companies will do that. The other thing that's happening, though, is this isn't just about if I'm a copywriter, this is making me more efficient as a copywriter. It's not just a productivity gain. Like, it's going to fundamentally change what it means to be a copywriter. that there might be a
Mm-hmm.
different set of skills. The if you haven't seen it, there's an Ethan Mollick article that came out last week called "Centaurs,
It's,
Cyborgs, and the Jagged Future of Work,"
yeah.
something like that. One of the findings in there was the consultants that used GPT-4 were 12% faster, 25%, wait, 12% more, 25% faster, and 40% better
40% better. Yeah.
than those without it. But the I thought the more interesting thing was they also ranked the lowest performing consultants had a 43% increase, while the highest rated consultants only had a 17% increase. So
Right,
the,
right.
the lower
Yes.
performing people
Yes.
leveled up,
Which
right?
this is what I love about it so
Yeah.
much.
So I think there's a non-zero possibility that the bitter cynical side of me just says capitalists gonna capitalist and go for the profit, right? And just screw the worker and dump them out. But if you've got tools that not only allow people to get more efficient, but also allow them to in effect reinvent what their role is, and then allows the lower performing people to level up, all of a sudden I can deliver as a company, you know, more, better, or faster to my customers. Like I could reinvent the company in some way because it's not just about an efficiency gain. It's about a radical transition of the culture of the company. And that's the thing that I don't think
Hmm.
anyone's prepared for right now. And I don't know that anyone can prepare for it. I think the only thing you can do is aggressively, and this is something that you've been doing that I've been really impressed with, is aggressively go after learning everything that you can about this. And I've said it
Yeah.
in the channel a bunch of times. Like, when someone says, "Oh, where do I go find prompts?" Don't go find prompts. Go learn how to prompt. Why?
Hmm.
Because of the announcement that came out today. Like, prompting was just about generating text outputs before. Well, now it does, all these other kinds
Right.
of outputs. And like, what does that mean? I don't know.
Yep.
Now you've got image generation in the context of word generation. That's going to be a completely different skill to create, right?
Hmm.
A skill to hone. So that's it in kind of general. And then I think from an individual basis, are you still there?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
From an individual basis, I, I think you need to get curious as well because this stuff is either going to be handed to you, go figure this out,
Hmm.
or someone who knows how to do this better than you is doing it now, and so your job's no longer needed because you weren't curious. And I think in getting curious about this AI stuff, people are going to, a lot of them are going to discover, you know what? I really kind of hated my job and I really kind of love this new thing that I learned that I didn't think was possible to learn in my life. Like I think there's going to be reinvention on a personal level at like a wild scale.
Oh, for
And
sure.
so I think some people may leave jobs, not necessarily because they got booted, but because they've discovered something new that they can do that they've always wanted to, that they thought was out of reach for them, but all of a sudden it's in reach for them.
Absolutely. And think about like how it's going to change the workplaces when people aren't doing so much of the stuff they hate to do, right?
Yeah.
Like there's probably 80% similarity among all of us about what we hate to do.
Mhm.
And within that chat, AI can probably do 60% of it, 50% of it, maybe more, as
Maybe
things
more.
progress,
Yep.
maybe all
Yep.
of it. And so then while it sucks and there's going to be suffering for the folks who do lose their jobs and aren't prepared to upskill, or can't, or whatever, or, don't have the self-esteem or whatever. Like people are going to get into real pickles with their self-identity.
Yep.
But then you got all the people who are going to be like living their best life as employees,
Yeah.
engaged, thriving in their zone of genius, not trying to do shit they're bad at. People are
Yep.
going to collaborate better because they're going to have better quality work and they're going to do stuff on time and they're not going to hate each other at the end of projects anymore. I am just like, this could be the best thing that's happened in ever in the history of
Yeah.
work and life.
I know this is I feel like it's the counterintuitive take right now is that because I think the intuitive take is the robots are going to kill us, right? because 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 that's what movies have told us for 50 years, right? And and yet, and it's you talk about that mundane, repetitive, soul-crushing work. There's that kind of work at work, but there's also that kind of activity that we have to do in our lives that also drains our souls, right? Being on the phone for 45 minutes with the insurance company only to be hung up on and right.
Right.
Like, how many hours a week do we each spend outside of work but doing repetitive soul crushing work of some other company that's been offloaded on us because of just crappy capitalism and
Yep.
all that sort of stuff. That's just what we've gotten used to, and all of a sudden I think we're going to start to see more and more applications of these tools that make that stuff easier. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just, if you think about, for me in a given week, there are at least 5 times where if computers weren't so expensive, I would smash it against the wall, right? At least 5 times a week. Like, what would my life be if that was like reduced to 1 or 2 instead of 5, right?
Yeah.
And it's just all that mindless, horrible bullshit. And so anyway, so that's the stuff I'm excited about. But I think the idea that this AI stuff is just a productivity enhancer, I think it's really missing what's really going on here. That the depth of the transformation isn't just about more efficient work. It's about
Mm-mm.
redefinition of work,
Mm-hmm.
redefinition of jobs, of roles, of what's valued. Um, and it's probably going to take us 5 or 7 or 10 years to figure that out, right? It's going to be 2 or 3 years of absolute fucking
Absolute
chaos,
hell. Yep.
right? and
Mm-hmm.
then and then it'll be 5 years. We'll start to figure it out. It'll start to stabilize, and then over the next few years, it'll within a decade, we'll sort of have this shit figured out. I think, but we'll see. I don't know. It's wild.
Did you and I'll hop off in a second because I know that this is your thing. But did you see that quote by Paul Retzer? I'm going to put it on LinkedIn tomorrow in just like black and white. He said, if you are a CEO or the leader of a company, you have a moral responsibility to figure this stuff out.
Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah, I know it's a pain in the ass. Like, I know you don't have time for it. You're going to have to find time, change your responsibilities, and because this is going to change everything. He kind of went down a list of all the things it was going to change, and I'm going to post it because, like, people who are not paying attention to this need to know that it's not just about their to-do list or the robots. It is actually a responsibility of leadership
Hmm.
to figure out how to solve for this so that their companies thrive, but their people thrive. Um,
Yep.
and they're ignoring it. So many people have said, Kyle, like to me, I'll be like, "Oh, so how are you guys talking
Hey,
about AI?"
hey, Anne.
Yeah.
And I think you're covering up your microphone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There you
Is that
go. Yep.
better?
Yeah, that's better.
So I talk to all these people and I say, "How are you guys talking about AI?" And they're
Yep.
like, "Oh, we're not."
Yep. No,
I'm like,
and it's
"Oh, cool."
yeah, exactly. And that's again, I keep going back to Ethan Mullick. He seems to be a bit of a canary in the coal mine with this. This was 3 months or so ago. He wrote this piece called "Detecting the Secret Cyborgs," and what he's talking about is there's a culture of there's a subculture within companies of workers who are getting curious about AI and getting AI literate in the absence of the company having any policy about AI, right? And so they're kind of secretly doing
Mm-hmm.
this AI stuff, getting better at it, reinventing it, having their own kind of subculture of being really good at this stuff, and the company can't benefit from it because they're not talking about it because they're afraid to talk about it. And what he talks about in that piece is
Yes.
it is the CEO, it is the C-suite. Let's just not just call it the CEO, but it is management's responsibility to make that conversation not only safe but like wanted and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
valued, right?
Yep. Yep.
Because yeah, like I mean, this channel and ones like it, just as people discover this stuff and get excited about it, if they're working in an environment that's got their arms crossed and they're like, screw this AI stuff, or just worse, yeah, we're not really paying attention to it. That's going to be rough for them, right? So
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
don't know. That's a great quote. You should definitely share it because it's I think one of the things that he's been talking about since they had the AI
The
summit
summit.
in
Yeah.
Cleveland was just how quickly this stuff's evolving. There's
Yeah.
one of the examples he talked about on his podcast was Runway ML, where they came out with picture to video, where you could upload a picture and it would turn it into a video, and it was 4 seconds long. And 2 months later, they 4x'd the performance of that. Now you can do 18 seconds of video. It's like the speed that these tools are moving from sort of cute curiosity to game changer
Yeah.
is insane. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, Kyle, thank you. And to everybody else, have a wonderful night. I don't know how you stay up so late at night talking on this thing. How do you do this?
Marge, is this TikTok thing on? How do you turn on a TikTok? Can anybody see me?
All
I'm just
right.
clueless. Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
Good chatting with you. Bye. All right, let's see. All right, so let's jump back in, and that was cool. I didn't see any comments when I was doing that. Great to have her on. Yeah, Anne's great. That was awesome. Yeah, we're in some cuckoo times here, so pop any questions you have in the comments below. If you're new here, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. We're talking about things AI. Anthony Conklin has a question. Go on, Anthony Conklin. Question. Yes. Oh, can I join to ask? Sure. Hey, Anthony.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. What's happening?
I'm good. How do I put my video on? Okay, now I can see. Oh, yeah, I'm a human being. I'm not an AI. I'm not a hey gen. I'm not a hey gen.
That's what I tell everyone too.
There you go. First of all, I just want to congratulate you on all the great content that you offer. I think what you do is really great. So
thank you.
keep up the great work.
Thanks.
A little quick backstory. I'm a personal development and sales and business coach. And I've found that since January, since I moved everything over to AI, I mean, I've reduced my workload by probably about 80%. And most of it has been admin stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
the soul crushing repetitive stuff.
Oh, it's tremendous. So Fireflies is my best friend and my worst enemy, right? So Fireflies for my coaching conversations, Claude from all the sales and marketing stuff, and then I'm kind of dabbling in video and some other stuff. Two questions. One is I want to use more AI tools, so I want to be able to follow you, and I mean, I'll pay for your stuff. It's just that I'm not trying to replace my operations team or my operations team. I just want to make it easier for me to have my 1 hour coaching conversation at the end. I mean, whether it be Tact IQ, Fireflies, or whatever, it's like they get a summary. It's tremendous, right? They get the summary, get the outcomes, they got the key points, the tonality, all that good stuff.
Yep.
I think I've done a good job of training OpenAI to get my speaking voice, my writing voice. That custom section just blows me away.
Oh, the custom instructions?
Yeah,
I can talk about that later.
Really been helpful for me.
Yep.
I wanted to ask you, so now to name my background, I've been doing this for 16 years. So I found that it's making me more valuable in the respect that I not only have the experience in doing it, I can do it faster and I can get you a lot more stuff. So let me ask you this. What is the biggest misconception, and it's a kind of a bigger question, what's the biggest misconception about AI right now that we want to get people to start paying attention to? Or is it like, hey, this is, 2000 and something and crypto's $1 and it's going to go to, $1 million. Because I hear what you say and I respect what you say. I'm just trying to break it down to a soundbite because I have other friends coming to me saying, hey, we should get into the AI game. I just want to set the record straight. what are the misconceptions and where are the opportunities? Again, coming from a sales and business development, personal development coach. So
Yeah.
long
I
story.
think,
Thank you for the space.
yeah, I'll talk about what I think some of the big misconceptions are, but quite honestly, the thing that you started with, Anthony, that 80% of your time, like what I would almost say is, it's not that you're 80% less busy than you were.
No.
It's that 80% of your time before AI was wasted on administrative bullshit that sucked up your brain power and
Yeah.
sucked up your time. And
Amen.
now it's taking you less time, but you've got more brain space and more time available for your clients. So for
Right.
me, that gap is actually the thing to talk about.
Okay.
I think some of the misconceptions are what I call it is the demonization and dismissal of AI without having tried it, basically.
Right.
That people seem to have strong opinions on it and haven't used it. So they
Yeah.
look at it and they're like, oh, it's like a Google search box, except it's stealing people's work and it's evil and the robots are going to kill us. And so I'm going to either make fun of it because I'm afraid of it, or I'm going to demonize it.
It's
And
Skynet. It's
it's
Skynet, right?
Skynet, right? All that sort of stuff. And so I think the only thing that I've found to get someone on the other side of it is to connect them to it personally, right? So
Right.
if you're in a circle of coaches and consultants and salespeople, I mean, this is a sales technique, right? How much time in your week do you spend on Salesforce data entry and email follow-ups? How many hours is that a week for you? 20. You know what it is for me now? 2.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
know how to do that? Let me show you one thing in ChatGPT. You pop it open and you have it write an email because you've got your custom instructions set up, and it writes the email in your tone, in your format like that.
Right.
And they'll have, if you've been on here, but you've seen they'll have their Kevin McAllister moment there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so I think you start with, what is the most relevant to them
Hmm.
first, and then say, now take the 10 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever to just play with ChatGPT long enough that you can see it's something more than a Google search, and it's not as scary as Skynet.
Right. Right.
And once they sort of get the little glimmer of, oh, that's kind of cool, that's kind of fun, let me try one other thing. At some point in trying one other thing, they'll try the thing that blows their fucking mind.
You know what I think, Kyle, and you bring up a good point, and I hope I'm not taking up too much space here, but just to add to your point, my neighbor, I said, hey, he goes, Anthony, have you heard of this thing called ChatGPT? I'm like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I go, I pay for it, dude. I pay the $20 a month. For me, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, and he went on and told me, well, it doesn't really, how does it help me? I said, listen, you have to just ask it the right way to get the good stuff out. So what I've found myself doing is I've created this list of prompts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I found that, I want you to take a look at, so here's an example. Take a look at this, this email that I got from somebody, a competitor, a friend, and I want you to run it through the Occam's razor principle.
Oh,
right?
cool. Nice.
And they come back and I look at it and I go, holy shit,
Mhm.
look at what it just did, right?
Yeah.
Or play devil's advocate. Look what it just did, right? So I think if you tease somebody enough to show them the prompt, it's like, well, shit, it's not going to take my job or take my life, or it's not going to be Skynet. You get people enticed. So here's my devil's advocate to you, Kyle, and I'll leave you with this again. You probably have people waiting, but thank you for the space. Is that people feel like, well, you're not going to think for yourself. You're going to let the AI think for you, or your brain's going to turn to mush, right? Or you think, listen, like for me, I find myself, I got my microphone here, right? My mic, and I go, I want you to revise this email using and I'm talking, and I'm not even typing. I'm using the Windows H, and I'm blasting away, but I'm getting so much more work done and more productive.
Yep.
But how do you talk to someone who says, "Oh, it's you're not going to think. Don't let it think for you." It's like AI is a tool. You use the tool. Don't let the tool use you.
So listen, I mean, you said it. It's funny. Like your questions, all of your questions are kind of set up like the answer is somewhere outside of you. The stuff you said tonight's brilliant. Like what you're doing and how you're doing it is the answer,
Thank you.
right? Like using it as the Occam's razor thing. What are you doing there? You're not using it like Google. Like Google is, you type in a response, you get a bunch of links. And
Right.
so people initially think that ChatGPT is that. Put in a prompt, get back an answer, and then you're done. And what you're doing is saying, no, I'm going to put in something that, someone sent me or whatever. I'm going to have it analyze it because it
Use
can do that
Corralo's
too. And then I'm going to have it,
principle. Yeah.
right, do all this stuff. So what I would say is the answer to everything that you've asked tonight is your personal experience and sharing what it's done for you.
Yeah.
And then basically it's a lightweight version of a sales job. Understand what's their pain point and
Yes.
say, what is the thing you're trying to solve? Well,
Right.
let's see if we can, let's just hop into ChatGPT right now and see if we can solve that. And honest to God, it'll be something. I was on, I don't know if it was one of these lives or I was in person with someone. Oh, I was teaching a bunch of small business people, and this woman said she had a gardening business or this or that, and I said, oh, let me just throw ChatGPT open, and I threw in like a make me a gardening plan for Denver for this time of the month, and put it in a table format, and it wrote this table, and she goes, oh my God, that's what I do. And it's if you can just get a little bit of info from them and then sort of put them in touch with what's possible, then it's kind of like your job's done. But I think you've got it. Like the way you're thinking about it's right. Just talk about your personal experiences. That's the answer to all this, to all of the questions that you ask.
Thank you. Listen, I appreciate the space. I think you do great work, and I know that you're on a lot, and I'm happy to follow you, and I'll be definitely looking for more, guidance and help. Listen, you helping us and you helping me is helping my clients, which, it's all about impact. It's all about paying it forward. So keep up the great work, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You take care.
Bye-bye. All right, Groovy. Turn dual camera back on. AI Learning Lab. We're doing learning. We're learning here. We're having fun. Those are cool. I like doing this. All right. So, what's Jason saying? If you learn one thing a day like Mr. Beast say about video creators, you'll do better. Yeah, I agree with that. That's good. I like it. I'd love to hear Anthony talk through his AI workflow to decrease busy work by 80%. Case study. We can bring Anthony back up here, or Anthony, feel free to just drop it in the comments, or even better, Anthony, join the AI Salon. So go to the salon.ai. That's our URL. That's the link tree. And the second link is the meetup. We have in-person meetings in Denver and online everywhere else, and those happen Tuesday nights. So tomorrow night's the next one. And then the third link on that link tree is the Discord. Join the Discord and introduce yourself, and you can share some of your best practices there for Jim. And the other thing, the thing that we're launching tomorrow at the salon, I'm really excited about. We're launching a thing called guilds. So we're going to launch 5 of them tomorrow. There's an AI 101 guild. There's a writing guild. There's a making art guild. There's an entrepreneurship guild. And there's an AI for business guild. And so those are the 5 guilds that are launching. And then we've got like 4 or 5 more coming after that. And so there's sub communities within the salon where you can like go into like little specialty groups and learn shit and teach shit. And, you can co-lead a guild, and you can, become a guild master if you want. There's all sorts of things to do. So go there and do that. Because it's all related. It's kind of what I'm realizing. I have this thing called the salon, or wherever it was, the AI salon that was this very separate community from this one. And then I started doing these lives, and then those audiences started blending a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then one of the guys in the salon just said a thing. He just said something that kind of broke my world open, that made me realize that for my entire life, I've always thought about the communities in my life as distinct from one another, right? Like that's my Facebook community, and that's the LinkedIn community, and you have to be professional there. And then this is the TikTok live community. I can cuss here, and then that's the salon community. And the thing that he said, he was talking about AI and how it's going to kind of blur boundaries between work and jobs and communities. And I had this fucking massive epiphany. I'm like, oh, it's all the same community. It's all my community. And like you each have your circles, and it's all your community. And why not let those things blend? So anyway, so that was a really cool insight. So, all right. Let's see who's got some questions. Let me go into the comments here, and we'll pull some questions up. I see Sam Korn in here. Welcome, Sam. Thelonious, I see you. Clint. Sharebear, of course. Emilio's wife was late. She was very late. She was like the third person in the live. It's like, slacker. Hey, wait, what are you up to now? Oh, wait, you're up to 12,000 likes, y'all. The irregulars. So here's the thing. You may think that I've got 12,000 likes. I don't. There are this group of people that show up here night after night after night. They harass me. They harass me. And they get bored of me because, it's me. And so what they've done is they got a whole little side community here where they're playing games to see how many likes they can get. So that's what's going on there. All right. Has Bing caught up to ChatGPT 4 or is it still more limited? Oh, Johnsy. You should have been here. When was it? A week ago? We had an absolute meltdown. In fact, let me show you. My Bing is on that list right there. See that dark spot where you can barely see like something there? That says Bing. I have it dark gray because she's in the corner. I put Sydney in the corner. She's been a bad girl. No, Bing is not better. So here's the deal. Bing, from a technical perspective, has some advantages going for it. It's connected to the internet. ChatGPT's not. It can generate images. ChatGPT can't. It has some good interface. It's connected to the Bing search experience. Like all that stuff's really good. But they've got these safety guardrails clamped down on it so hard that it makes it absolutely fucking useless. So it's not that the technology's bad. The technology's fine. It's that the crap that the corporate wieners put on it has fucked it up. Now, they'll get it together. They have a bunch of big, Fortune 500 companies to sell to. So their stuff has to be safe. So I understand why it is what it is. But in contrast to the other tools, it's just painful sometimes. It's funny. There are people on here that love Bing, right? Because whatever their use case is, they're not running up against those safety guardrails. In my case, like with demoing things for the lab here, I'll go to demo something and I just do kind of jokey shit and I make fun of it and I make jokes and it just doesn't like that. It's like, well, if you're going to be a smart aleck about it, then we're just not going to have this conversation, little mister. You know what I'm saying? I think you should get yourself to a self-help group and, really accept that you're a little aggressive with me. It's honest to God. It's like talking to Stuart Smalley. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And doggone it, people like me. It's like someone can capture that. Bing is the Stuart Smalley of large language models. No, it's not better. With all this new shit that just got launched with the multimodal ChatGPT, that's going to be interesting to see what of that Bing incorporates. I get the really distinct sense that the Bing chat development group and the ChatGPT 4 development group are not really working in concert. Like they're two completely separate. I mean, it's two separate organizations, but I kind of had it in my head that they might have been working together. I just get this sense that they're just, essentially competitors at the ChatGPT level. They're collaborators at the GPT-4 level at the base large language model level, but I think at the ChatGPT level, they're kind of competing. I use it to educate myself about history and science and something else. That was Sam Korn. Very cool. Oh, and comp sci. Nice. Clint. But. No excuses, sir. Thank you very much. Oh my God, that's what I do. What do you do, Emilios? I mean, if you learn, okay, we talked about that one. Best AI logo generator, free or paid. Tried smashing logo and was impressed, but too pricey. I don't know any of the, excuse me, I don't know any of the real tactical tools. I don't know them. I'm trying to just kind of stay up at the what are the sort of core tools, because there's too many tools. So what I would do is I'd go to futurepedia.io, or you can go to, there's a site called, there's an AI for that.com. So either futurepedia.io or there's an AI for that.com, and just look up logo or design or branding or something like that. I guarantee you there are 400 of them. One thing I will tell you that I haven't played with it because the assholes won't let you play with it, but someone in here told me about a Midjourney tool, or yeah, a Midjourney companion tool called Trace Journey, which will vectorize Midjourney graphics. So you go into Midjourney, you have it make a logo, and then you can use this Trace Journey tool to trace it and turn it into an Illustrator file. And the reason you do that is because once it's an Illustrator file and it's got vectors, it's infinitely scalable. So that could be interesting, but you're going to have to, that's kind of a roll your own solution, right? You're going to have to learn how to prompt Midjourney to give you good logos and do typography in Illustrator, and it's a whole fucking thing. So there are probably tools that do it. I just don't know them. All right. Listen, one ringy dingy, two ringy dingies. How many, wait, what was that voice? How many legs does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? 1, 2, 3. You're welcome, Gen X. Taking us back to all the old classics. Oh, man. All right, let's see here. Down in the mud. I am debating which ones I should invest in. I don't have a good answer for you on that. I mean, you can figure out which ones are investable, but the list of ones that I've got, the companies behind all of these and these are worth paying attention to. And then who are the ones supporting them? Like NVIDIA, all of them need NVIDIA, right? All of them. Like Pi, that little squirt right there, they raised $1.3 billion. They're spending about $1 billion of it on 22,000 GPUs from NVIDIA. X.com, ye old Elon Musk, just accepted a delivery of 10,000 GPUs from NVIDIA. Like, all of these guys are using NVIDIA. Now, I don't know if they're a good investment. Their market cap hit $1 trillion. Like, I don't know if that's a good deal. I'm not an investor. I have a degree in acting, so take anything I say with the appropriate level of consternation when it comes to financial prowess. I am not a robot. Goodbye. But this is my self group. That's awesome, Firefly. That's the thing, is that that's the thing that hit me. Is like it sounds fucking corny, but just the idea that those boundaries that I had put in my head, that this group was separate from that group, like I've been doing it my whole life. And I think we're taught it from a young age, right? I mean, look at politics right now. Well, that group's evil. No, that group's evil. Like we're like a bad set of football fans. And it's just like it's encouraged in our society, and I think it's a natural human instinct anyway, is to separate ourselves. And it just hit me. Well, what if those boundaries didn't exist? And what if I just start communicating freely between them and, sort of encouraging cross-pollination? And it's not a new idea, but it's a new idea for me. So it's a big, big deal. How many licks does it get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? ChatGPT. The world may never know. Well, that was the follow-up commercial, Clint. The first commercial was 1, 2, 3. And then the follow-up commercial was the one where I guess people bitched about biting the Tootsie Pop. The world will never know. All right. All right. Let's see. Bing versus ChatGPT. Bing's slower. More folks not really aware of the potential of ChatGPT yet, perhaps. You know what, Firefly? I don't think a lot of people are using Bing. I thought that Bing Chat would have sniped a lot more of Google search than it has. I don't think a lot of people are using it. I think a lot of people are using ChatGPT. Why? Because it's better. Because they haven't fucked it up and overly locked down its safety guardrails. Have you heard of Halter AI? I have, but I can't remember what the hell it was. Let me go look at it. Halter AI. A Halter lead monitor. Where is it? Let's see. Is this the ECG monitor? That Halter? I mean, the echocardiogram AI analysis has been doing some interesting stuff for a lot of years now. Like you hear those stories of, someone's smartwatch saved their life because they had an AFib or something like that. But tell me more about it. If it's not the EKG one, I don't see something else there that's called Halter AI. There's absolutely no competition at that level. At what level? I don't know what you're talking about, Bigfoot Electro. And by the way, I like the name. 9 out of 10 on the name, Bigfoot Electro. Solid. It's one of the things we do here. If you're going to show up here regularly, get your name together. Don't come in here with some half-assed name or like user 64628366925. That don't fly in here. I will make fun of it. I'll do it. I'll troll you. You can pick on me and my double chin and the fact that I look like Tom Arnold and Rosie O'Donnell, all that sort of shit. Yeah, we've heard it all before. Whatever. But if you come in here with a user 64823572559 name, really? I know we're old people, but come on. Marge, how do I change the name on the TikTok? Not better than my name. Kyle's #1 fan. 10 out of 10. Dial that shit up to 11. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is the best name. It'll be like, I am Spartacus. I am Kyle. No, I am Kyle. Let's see. JRC said, did you see Amazon investing $4 billion in Anthropic? Yeah, I started out, I said it real early on. That's a big deal. So this morning, the news this morning in succession, the first thing I read, I flipped open Twitter and I saw Amazon invest $4 billion in Anthropic, and I was like, holy shit. And so I put out Bard was incorrect all day today. Yeah, Bard's getting ready for Bard's like, fuck it. I know Gemini's coming, so I'm just gonna suck for a couple of days. Started out with $4 billion into Anthropic, and I thought, okay, A, that makes sense. B, I think it's brilliant on Amazon's part. We now have just these major alliances happening that are really, really interesting. Then the next thing I saw was ChatGPT's going multimodal in 2 weeks. And then I don't know if you saw this, but Getty Images launched a generative AI image generating tool that's only been trained on Getty Images. And the artists are going to get paid for the generations. And it's they're sort of taking the power back into their own hands. They own this big proprietary data set. They're like, fuck it, we'll train everything on all of the images that we own. We'll make our own generation tool, and we'll pay the photographers. So, those three things I saw them like right in a row. I'm like, it's all big stuff. It's all happening. So it's cuckoo. All right, invest of all of them. It's too close to call. Microsoft, Google, they're all in on it. I don't know that I'd invest in all of them. And some of them you can invest in them. Some of them aren't public yet. So, but I guess you could, if you're an accredited investor, you could get in. But these investment rounds are fucking insane. I'd like to put in $50, $50,000. They're like, yeah, we're trying to raise a couple of $1 billion here. Thanks. It was like trying to raise money in Denver. It was so painful sometimes. I'd be talking to someone for like 2 hours when I was first trying to raise money for my company. And we'd be like 2 hours into this just insufferable conversation where this guy'd be just dragging us through the ringer, like, what's your revenue and what's your ARR and what's your MRR and what are you expected to do here? You know, what's your go-to-market strategy? What's your expansion strategy? And I'm like, oh my God. And then at some point it hit me and I was like, hey, just out of curiosity, how much are you thinking of investing? Well, up to $5,000. You know, get me out of here. Fucking fundraising in Denver, not for the faint of heart. It's special. Oh man alive. First a reference to Betamax and now the owl and the Tootsie Pops. Have I jumped into delirium? Listen, Forever Hook, this is Gen X. This is Gen X bitter you betcha land. All night, every night. This is one place on the planet I know I can make jokes about Planet of the Apes and Soylent Green and the Tootsie Pop guy and the Atari 2600 and people would be like, yeah. Someone did a poll in here one night and it was like, there was definitely an age range. There was definitely an age range. Oh man. I meant the monthly membership or stay free. I forget what you were asking about. Abundance flow. Were you talking about ChatGPT? If you're asking about, do I think it's worth paying the $20 a month to ChatGPT? Yes. Because you're going to get access to DALL-E 3. You've already got access to code interpreter or advanced data analysis. You've got access to plugins. You're now going to have access to voice and image multimodality. And you're going to get access to the early stuff for them. And just until further notice, they're still king of the hill. If Gemini comes out and is better, great. Then we'll flip our charts around and we'll start recommending different things. But I think for now, $20 a month for what ChatGPT is a fucking bargain. Becky, please let me know if you post your lives on YouTube. It's my bedtime when you're on. Hey, Becky. I do. And in fact, here, let me show you. I'm almost caught up. I've got everything up through this or September 15th from the very beginning. From April is when I started doing these lives. So the YouTube channel is AI Learning Lab -TT. I didn't move quick enough and get it on my own, so some other dude has YouTube AI Learning Lab, the bastard, but that's all right. He got there first. So -TT is this one. And well, you'll see it. It's my fat face like 8,000 times. I haven't done anything on the YouTube channel except, well, this is a lot. I've downloaded nightly 3-hour recordings of these things, which takes forever. And then I've uploaded them to YouTube, which takes forever. Then I have to wait for like 2 days for it to write a transcript of them. Then I take that transcript and I've got this monster prompt that I wrote for Claude, and I go into Claude and it writes the descriptions and the chapter titles for each of the things. And I'm almost caught up. I've got the chapterization done like through August, and I've got uploads through like April 5th or September 15th. So I'm getting there. So they're there. All right. I have a background in Excel and VBA coding, and it's great. Yep. It's awesome for that kind of stuff. So super cool. Oh, yay. I learned so much from you. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. It was good seeing you the other day, too. Really good to see you. Do 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 do. Becky's the best, by the way. She is very cool. Do you think AI should be restricted from the public? Well, it's too late now, P29 Kiki. Do I think it should be restricted from the public? I think that some of it already is. Sam Altman has said they have invented some stuff that will never be released. That makes you want to go get a job at OpenAI just to figure out what that shit is. That's where my head goes. Like, I want to see that. Meta has effectively let the cow out of the barn on that, as has Stability AI, where they've open sourced their large language models with the weights and everything. So basically the keys to the kingdom. So some fairly powerful models are already out there. The sort of next layer of model, the kind of GPT-5 layer, and maybe what Gemini is, or maybe whatever's coming after Gemini, the kind of next level of whatever these things are, they might not be large language models as we know them now. They might be hybrid with some other technology. I don't know. But they're likely going to have reasoning, and they're going to have autonomous actions. And those two things, so ChatGPT right now is a fairly dumb, hermetically sealed thing where it's just a probability engine. You go in and you ask it for shit and it generates stuff. And if you look at Code Interpreter, it's starting to do some of that autonomous self-prompting and things like that. But when these things get true reasoning and they have the ability to start taking actions on their own, that's when things get a little weird. The technology isn't there right now that the public has access to. I have a sneaking suspicion that the technology is absolutely there that these big companies have access to. I think it's one of the reasons Elon Musk is so freaked out and scared about like how this stuff's being managed, and he doesn't want it to stay behind closed doors. But the cat's out of the bag. So I think the public and the developer community in particular already knows what this stuff is, what it can do, and what the future looks like. And the engineering community right now is really pushing the boundaries of improving even these weaker models to the performance level of like GPT 3.5. Some of them are pushing GPT 4. Someone got, I think it was I guess Meta's Code Llama for coding tasks surpassed GPT-4 on one of the major benchmarks, right? So there's starting to be things in the marketplace right now that are at that level. So when the next level comes in, if there's sort of this continued push of technology out to open source, then it could get kind of dangerous. But there's no stopping it at this point. It's not like you've got 3 or 4 companies that have all the tech that the government can just clamp down on them. You can't really uninvent this. You can't undistribute it. And the developer community is now getting these things efficient enough to be able to install on your phone. And Apple, quite frankly, a lot of the chips that they're putting into the Vision Pro goggles and the new phones, the M whatever chips they were, was it M? There was the R1 chip in the goggles, and there's some other chip they've got, the reality engine shit. They're going to be able to do very, very sophisticated machine learning on device. So you're going to be able to have, very strong large language models on phones with no internet connection. So I don't know whether it's good or bad. I think it's irrelevant. It just is. That OpenAI is reserved for asking how to build the extraterrestrial Sportster model. Yeah, that OpenAI. Yeah, exactly. What did I miss? I want to make hedgehogs. Oh, that's funny. Hang on a sec. Larry is resurrected in the latest Open AI announcement. His death was Greatly exaggerated. Is Elon Musk truly screening candidates for brain chips inserted? Yes. It's not like he's it is like he's screening candidates. The FDA approved Neuralink implants in humans about 2 months ago. They've been doing animal studies for however long to get the technology to the point that it's safe, and they've got their robots. That Neuralink thing, if you haven't watched the YouTube videos on what Neuralink is and the robots that they've developed, just it's crazy science fiction shit. The thing that's amazing about it, Becky, is so a couple of things. They're obviously going to start with people with neurological disorders, brain injuries, paralysis, things like that, where these implants can make a dramatic difference. So they're gonna likely start there, and I assume that the FDA probably has some restrictions about the kind of people they can test in. But the real technology there is not the electrodes. Like the electrodes, like this little sort of, it's like the size of a quarter, but the core of it's like this eraser sized thing with, I think it's 60 or 120 electrodes, which are just these super thin wires that are like, I don't know, whatever it is, a tenth the width of a human hair or small. I don't know. They're teeny. But what they invented was the robot to insert those 60 or 120 things. It actually, like in real time, looks at the surface of your brain and it navigates those things in between the blood vessels. So as they insert the electrodes into your brain, they're actually steering them, through the part of your brain that doesn't hit any blood vessels, so not to cause any internal bleeding. It's crazy. But the thing that's wild is the Vision Pro, some of the technology in the Vision Pro goggles that Apple just released are effectively, they're not quite brain implants, but they're pretty flippin' close. So they've got these 4 cameras looking at your eyes. And one of the things that they're doing is they're measuring your emotional response of the sort of micro movements of your iris. And so one of the interface technologies in the Vision Pro goggles is it'll display a bunch of icons in front of you, and then you look at them, and when you look at one, it'll select it, and then I think you do this to click on it. But they can analyze these micro movements of your irises as you're looking over to that icon. They know that you're about to click on it because your brain does some endorphin thing and gets excited that you're going to click on the button. So they actually start preloading that application in the background before your eye even gets to it. It's fucking insane. So that's because our eyes see before the brain can process. Yeah, exactly. So I think that there's going to be a lot of different ways to get to brain-computer interfaces other than Neuralink. But yeah, they're starting human trials right now. I guess they're screening for them right now. It's wild. It's just wild. How much is he paying? Is it worth me considering? How much is who paying? What? I have the brain chip already. Hold on, reboot. That's good. I just sounded like Bill Clinton. How you doing? He always had that gravelly voice. All right. All right. NFL players. How about that Taylor Swift? Did you see Bill Belichick? They asked him about the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing, and he goes, well, Travis Kelce's made some catches in his career. If he gets this one, it'll be the biggest it'll be the biggest catch of his career. I thought that was pretty good. Oh man, Zoom just turned on their AI meeting companion as the default. Get ready for meeting notes. Quite honestly, Brother 52, thank goodness, right? Because taking meeting notes, like I've got we use Google Meets in my company, but we're thinking of switching to Teams or to Zoom. they're all a pain in the ass, but like our account team spend a tremendous amount of time writing meeting notes and dealing with them. And so like the Anthony that was on here before that was talking about, 80% of what he did, he doesn't have to do anymore. Like all of the administrative stuff that salespeople, like it just eats up their day, can be automated. And that's a perfect example of it. So I say bring on the fucking robots to the meetings. I love that. I'm retired but interested in knowing about AI. What are other retired individuals doing with it? I'll tell you what are they doing with chat. So I'll tell you a good story. So first of all, if you haven't done it, just spend the bulk of your time right now kind of exploring ChatGPT and tools like it, like Claude and Bard. I think these three are the ones that really right now are the ones worth playing with because they're evolving in real time. They just announced multimodality, which is it can see and hear and make pictures. It's going to be crazy, and that's happening in 2 weeks. Claude just got a $4 billion investment from AWS, which we won't see immediately, but that means they're going to be there for a while, and their shit's going to get better and better and better. And then Bard's got Gemini coming. So those three right now, just play with those. And if you haven't played with this prompts.chat thing, I would do that. Here's the thing about the retirement thing. I think I have successfully unretired 4 or 5 people and probably more. I don't give a shit how retired you are. This stuff is really exciting. There's an opportunity to reinvent yourself in ways that I don't think people can imagine right now. Because so I wrote an article on this. If you go on my LinkedIn profile, I think I'm at Kyle Shannon on LinkedIn, but I'm CEO of Storyvine. I'm easy enough to find. I did an article about on LinkedIn called, was it on LinkedIn or was it? I might have just done it as a TikTok video. Anyway, called The 10,000 Hour Rule is Dead. And the 10,000 hour rule is that thing that Malcolm Gladwell made famous, that if you want to reach a level of expertise in any given area, you have to put in your 10,000 hours. And if you've been on the planet for a while, like us old fucks have, and if you're retired, you've been around for a while, you kind of know that to be true, right? You know that if you want to change the trajectory of what you do, it's kind of a 2 or 3 or 4 year commitment, depending on how deep you dive. And it often involves going back to school, or it involves doing an apprenticeship or digging in. And with these AI tools, you can cut that from 10,000 hours to 500, 1,000. 500 hours is 2 months. 1,000 hours is 4 months. So imagine picking a topic that you know nothing about right now, and just go to ChatGPT and spend the next 4 months focusing on that one thing. You'll be really fucking good at that thing. Now, there are some things that require physical dexterity, like playing instruments, that may take a bit longer, but to get personalized education and personalized kind of knowledge ingestion for a new thing, you can get up to speed really quickly. And if it's something like coding, where it actually does the coding, you don't even need to learn the coding. You just need to learn, okay, how do I put apps together? And what are the apps that I want to make? So I think the opportunity for people to reinvent themselves multiple times a year, not like I need 4 years to figure out if I like this or not. No, give it a couple of months and see if you like it. Oh, I really like this. There's a guy in the AI salon. If you how many people are here? Oh, we got a lot of people here. So if you want to find a community, so a fair amount of the community that show up here regularly are also migrating over to the AI salon. So if you go to the salon.ai, we've got a meetup group. We meet every 2 weeks in person here in Denver, and then virtually everywhere else. And then we've got a Discord server, and that's where people are migrating to. And one of the guys in Discord, his name's Roger, and Roger's a retired software engineer. And, Roger's really good guy, but you know, he's always the he's always the curmudgeon. Like no matter what the point is, he's like asking the counterpoint. He's always got, yeah, but what about this? But what about that? But what about that? And when we first started the salon, we called it the AI Artist Salon, and Roger kind of took offense to that, and so he named his name in Discord was Roger, not an artist. he was a conscientious objector. And then a funny thing happened to Roger in the AI salon is he started playing around in the Midjourney channel. And he wanted to know why Midjourney couldn't make consistent images. And so he started taking a programmer's approach, a very systematic approach to prompt engineering in Midjourney. And his images that he was creating started being better than everyone else's, like the artist. and he was getting really good results from Midjourney because he took this very, you know, engineering approach to it. And he has since changed his name to Roger Becoming an Artist, which I think is great. And, you know, he's talked about the fact that he was not expecting that. He was not expecting to sort of find the amount of joy that he got out of making art. Kyle, what's the term you came up with last night? You wrote it down. I did. I wrote it on my SAG-AFTRA. On my SAG.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, Siri.
If you like, I can search the web for.
No.
I said I wrote it on my.
Siri. She's so jealous. I wrote it on my SAG-AFTRA pay stub from my $9 check from New Jack City. The term that I came up with last night was the democratization of the specialized. And so what I meant by that, and it's kind of this thing that it's kind of the thing that I'm talking about here. I assume that's why you're asking about it. Our professional work environment, for the most part, and our education systems are designed to teach people specialties, right? You're going to be an accountant. You're going to be a this. You're going to be a that. You're going to be a that. You're going to be an illustrator. You're going to be a copywriter. You're going to be this. Or you're going to be a creative director. Are you a writing creative director or a picture creative director? All these specialties. And as I've been exploring lateral play, where I'm sort of going outside of the bounds of where I know my boundaries are from a competence standpoint, I'm actually getting decently competent in areas that I never would have been competent in. So it's democratizing specialization. And so I think the implications of that are just fucking insane. And this idea of if you're retired, what does that mean? And if you're still curious and still vibrant and still wanting to kick around and do something, there's never been a better fucking time to do it, because you don't have to spend 4 years figuring something out. You can just, it's been democratized. Go figure out a specialty. Maybe you realize you love it. Maybe you realize you hate it. And then you're like, fuck it. Maybe I'll take up cooking. And then you realize, nope, I hate doing dishes. Fuck that. And then you're like, gardening. You're like, oh, I love the feel of dirt in my fingers. All right, gardening it is. And then you run down that fucking rabbit hole, and before you know it, you're the mushroom king of Oregon. I don't know. What is Apple doing about all these AI things? Oh, Ricardo, that's a very good question. And so, a couple of things. About 2 weeks ago, I heard that they're spending the bulk of their $24.6 billion research budget. Apple's research budget is bigger than the market cap of OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. Their research budget is bigger than the market cap of OpenAI. Okay, so there's that. So they've been spending the bulk of it on generative AI. So that's that. Second thing, if you paid close attention to the Vision Pro announcement, or even if you didn't, they very subtly but clearly said, Yeah, what y'all are doing is cute, but what we got coming is going to be on another level. They didn't use the term artificial intelligence or AI once. They didn't once mention the metaverse. They did mention machine learning. They did mention um, embeddings. They did mention vectors. So they mentioned a lot of terms around AI and machine learning. And they made it very, very clear that the 16 sensors that are in this goggle that are looking out and looking in and looking down and looking up, and who the fuck knows where all the sensors are looking, they're processing all of that sensor data in real time on this R1 chip, this reality chip over your left eye. So they're doing real time on device machine learning processing. That's super important because one of the privacy and security concerns is if I send my shit to OpenAI, are they going to use it for training? And the answer up to this point has been yes. That's why they came out with ChatGPT Enterprise. Like, we promised this time we won't use it. And then the other thing that Apple did is in the iPhone 15, there were a number of announcements about the iPhone 15 that they've basically doubled their, machine learning, their reality engine, or whatever they're calling it. So Apple they've got your data, they've got the privacy of your data, which they have been militant about protecting. So Apple, in my opinion, is the only company on planet Earth that can actually legitimately, without cracking a smile when they say it, say, we'll protect your privacy and your data. Everyone else has fucking sold us down the river. But Apple's been the only one that's really, are they leveraging our data and doing stuff? Probably. But, are they doing it explicitly like Facebook and Google? No. So my instinct, it'll probably be in the spring, but I think their Vision Pro goggles come out November, sometime before Christmas. So maybe they make an announcement about AI then. I mean, quite frankly, Siri needs to be flushed down the toilet or reinvented, right? So that would be nice. And then I think the other thing that Apple's going to do really well is like they do, they'll kind of redefine the category of what consumer grade artificial intelligence really is. I think their agents are going to be great. They're going to be great. You're going to just be like, hey, I need to do this. And it'll be like, all right, I'm off, boss. Let me go take care of that for you. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-bow. Kyle Shannon, where are you getting your news? Mostly Twitter, a little bit on LinkedIn. It's mostly who I follow on Twitter. I follow like Robert Scoble. I follow Ethan Mollick. I follow Andre Karpathy from OpenAI. Like all of the players that talk about these companies all the time, like the reason these companies are here, these are the companies kind of on the leading edge of the sword. So I just tend to follow companies that are following, or people that are either following or in these companies, and talk about them. And that's most of the news. There's lots and lots and lots of news about scientific white papers and shit like that are esoteric but really important, but we're not going to see shit for 2 years. But most of the announcement these guys are doing is like they're in a competitive war right now, right? Microsoft, OpenAI, AWS, Anthropic, that pairing, Meta, and whoever they paired with, I forget who they paired with, Google, Cohere, Apple. Like there's major factions forming amongst these big frontier players. Is there any use in writing a book on fair use for AI in academic settings? I think there is use in having an opinion on fair use in academic settings. Writing a book on it, to the extent that you could write the book as a living document, I think it could be interesting. Maybe it's more like a series of blog posts that you occasionally roll into book form. and even enrolling it into book form, like I don't know, there might be some way to like date it or something like that, like because things are changing so fast, and the league, like the definition of fair use is what the fuck is fair use going to be when you're training a large language model on all the data you can get your hands on, like most of the public internet, and they apparently trained it on some pirate data sets of published books. Like it's all in there, but it's not in there as the documents themselves. It's now just in there as these vectors in semantic word space, math space. It's such a fucking gray area. I think it's going to be litigated for the next 20 years. So I don't think that anything you could write right now will stand the test of time, unless it's kind of foundational. Here are principles we should follow, but the tactical execution of any of that stuff is just it feels very far away from me. But here's the thing. Here's my POV on anything in universities right now. I gave a talk to I won't say the name of the university, but a local university here in Colorado, and on AI, and this was the public policy group in this organization. Their staff meetings, they're not talking about AI. They are now after my talk, apparently. They weren't talking about AI. I'm like, it's a new school year. Like, you're not talking about it? Like, you're not, you haven't even at least said it's evil or it's good. Like you don't have a point of view on it. So I think having a point of view in an academic setting right now is actually really important. So if you're educating yourself on this stuff and curious about it and not writing out of a point of view of ignorance, then yeah, I say go for it. But I just wouldn't get too precious about how long it's going to be relevant, because I think, the Copyright Office right now is like, you can't copyright anything. That's going to change. So, and then what does copyright protection even mean in a world of infinite content generation? Infinite personalized content generation. What's going to happen to children's book sales when I've got a multimodal ChatGPT that can do world-class illustrations and maintain Larry the Hedgehog throughout my kid's book? I don't know if you've seen that. I should show that. There's 150 people in here. Let me show you something if you haven't seen this. So OpenAI 3 days ago announced DALL-E 3. So if you've heard of DALL-E 2, it makes images poorly. It's been around for a year. And they announced DALL-E 3. Let's see, OpenAI / DALL. So it's DALL-E-3. And that'll take you here. And so this was 3 days ago. This morning, OpenAI announced that the new GPT-4 is going to be able to see images, hear words, and say words, so it can see. And then with the addition of DALL-E 3, it'll be able to make images. So it's going multimodal in 2 weeks, within 2 weeks. So it'll probably start rolling out. Where are we? What day is today? Monday. Probably start rolling out this week. Some people will probably get it this week. Some people will get it over the weekend. Some people will get it next week. So it does a bunch of things. Like, one of the things it does is it takes the details from your prompt and it can really accurately do them. Like, it does text really well. The details of this prompt are captured in this image. So it does all that stuff really well. But let me show you, we've been joking in here for the past couple of nights about Larry the Hedgehog. So, but watch this video. My daughter says, its name is Larry. Can I see more like this? So it started out, my daughter wants a hedgehog with sunflowers on it or whatever it was. He picked this one, or she picked this one. My daughter says its name is Larry. DALL-E 3 can now maintain Larry across the next series of prompts. So if you've ever tried to get ChatGPT or to get Midjourney or Stable Diffusion or DALL-E to do anything resembling a coherent character across prompts, that's like a minor miracle. So what happens to the children's book industry when every kid and every parent can make a personalized book for their child every night? Every night, the kid or the parent or the big brother or the little brother or the little sister can generate a world-class quality children's book personalized to that kid that night. What happens to copyright in that environment? I don't know. I'm posing that as a massive rhetorical question that I don't have a fucking clue how to answer. But I do know that that's the world we're headed toward very, very quickly. Hyper-personalized content that anything I ask for, I'll be able to get for me. And it's not just going to be children's books. It's going to be a playlist of original music that sounds like the music I like. And if I'm wearing those stupid fucking goggles from Apple, it'll be measuring the emotional response to the music it generated for me. And it'll be custom writing the music to make my dopamine just fucking keep pinning. It's like, you think we're addicted to shit now? Wait till they can deliver up custom content while they're measuring our dopamine output. Don't give them ideas. Even if that's the case, it's not for humanitarian reasons. There's financial advantage. Yeah, listen, don't get me wrong. I don't have any illusions that any of this stuff isn't all for massive profit making. You know, everyone's trying to make, money here. Although I will give Sam Altman some credit. Elon Musk gives him zero credit. I think that Sam's capped profit model and what he's doing with WorldCoin and World ID is at least an attempt at dealing with the productivity gap that's going to be created from these tools getting more productive and needing less people. That gap, Sam Altman he's at least got an idea for how to attack it. Oh, the money comment was about Apple when I mentioned the privacy thing. Yeah, no, I know, but there were a number of opportunities. Some of the high profile stuff in the Trump administration where Apple just didn't give in to the backdoor stuff. Now, at some point, I think someone figured out how to backdoor in there anyway, and it's possible that Apple just gave them that and said, "You can't say we gave you this." I don't know. Who knows? But my point about Apple with the privacy stuff is I think they've got, whatever their motivation for it is, they've got the reputation for it, and I think that they could really consumerize AI and machine learning. Right now, it still requires us to be geeky. Like the fact that we have to have this channel, the fact that this is a thing, this won't be necessary. I don't know, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. This is really necessary right now because, like, I feel clueless every fucking day, and this is all I pay attention to, right? And I feel clueless every day because the stuff is moving like it's impossible to keep up with. It's going to stabilize, but we're not close to it yet. So anyway, all right, let's carry on here. Twitter was X one day. I freaked out and deleted the app. I had no idea. That was I knew it was coming, so I didn't do that. But like it did, like the icon changed, and because it was black and white, it kind of looked like, have I been hacked? Because you know what's funny? All the icons on your home screen, I didn't realize how subconscious the location and colors of those icons are. And so when it went from light blue to jet black, it was like light blue with soft lines of the little Tweety bird, and then it went to jet black with hard angular lines of X. It was jarring. It was like, oh, what's on my phone? It was like a fly landed on it. You need to wear dark shirts. I do. It's a constant source. I've got all these lovely shirts, but they have patterns on them, and you can't read shit. I know. We're too far in tonight, though. I'll ask the committee to see if they're interested. All right. I think that's to an internal comment, but cool. I love when you guys talk to each other. Don't use their AI. Use our AI. Here's 3 reasons why we are better. I don't know what that's in reference to, but it's something I said, obviously. Canva just announced something big, 8 days away. I don't know what. They've already got their, what's it called? Their auto generation content creator thingy. Canva AI now. Mint. Free online announcement maker. March 22nd. I'm getting you speaking gigs, Kyle. Oh, cool. Awesome. Would love to do that. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm happy to talk. If you want me to talk at your company or your thing or your institution, I'm happy to do it. This stuff's important. So, Becky can represent me. Make sure they don't interfere with his lives. Yeah, I can't do anything 8 p.m. Mountain Time. I get if I'm like a half hour late lately, I get like, everything okay? You coming? You coming? When are you gonna be there? Y'all are relentless. Becky Rusi, you can make money with ChatGPT. We haven't done that tonight. By the way, if you haven't been here before, my name is Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab, and you can make money with ChatGPT. We make fun of those people. At some point, I'm going to start selling the golden button, but right now, if you want to know about making money with AI tools, I'm your guy. Yeah, Herod, who he came on last night and spoke, and he and I actually talked yesterday as well. He's going to be heading up the Video Guild when we launch that in the AI Salon, which, let me put the info for that up again. So if you're interested in the AI Salon, go to the salon.ai. That's the URL. And that's a link tree. And the invite to the Discord is there. But yeah, Herod is doing some really cool stuff. He was the person before, I forget your name, who was retired, and like, what are retired people doing? Well, Herod wasn't retired. Herod was a software engineer. And then Herod started playing around with this here fanciful generative AI stuff. And he was like, hey, I really like this art stuff. And he got really good at the art stuff. And now he got hired as an artist. So he changed his career. And what did you say it took you? 6 months to go from engineer to artist? Like working, hired illustrator at a company? I mean, come on, man. This reinvention thing's cool. It's so good. Yeah, about 6 months. That's super cool. I wrote a short screenplay for my 14-year-old nephew as the hero. Yes, plus friends. It never has to end. Exactly, Source Camp. I mean, think about that as entertainment. So remember we used to do that as kids. You know, as kids, we'd have this sort of infinite imagination thing, and we'd go play Soldier or War or whatever. We'd go dig holes, and we were hiding, and right. And then you could do that for days on end, and the story would just continue. Oh, wait, sorry, repin that thing that was Canva. I think it was Silver Fox said something. I just saw it, but missed what it said. With these tools, especially when they start to have ongoing memory, right? Like Pi sort of has that going on right now. These things right now don't really have ongoing memory. Canva, explore Canvas Magic, 10.4 by invite on the Canvas site. Canvas Magic. So I assume that's just going to be generative AI within it. Probably. Oh, you know what it could be? You know what would be brilliant for Canva? This is hopefully what it is so right now all these template sites are a bit of a shit show because they create a template marketplace and then you have all these designers come in and the designers have varying degrees of competence and then they make all these templates and like all of the templates look good, but then when you actually go and buy one or try to use one, you realize, oh, it's sort of half complete because the designer didn't really know what they were doing and it ends up being a nightmare. Well, how about rather than having, sort of this 100,000 or millions of templates that you have to go sift through and dig through, you can just say, make me a website that looks like this, or make me an Instagram post that looks like this, and it just does it. What is Canva? Canva's kind of like Illustrator and Adobe InDesign sort of rolled together. It's sort of template-based page layout program, and it's got all sorts of pre-built templates, and it's just a website you go to, and rather than having to pay your Adobe extortion fee, you pay the Canva extortion fee, which is a lot less, and it's much more geared toward social media, outputs and things like that. In middle school, me and my friends were doing endless Star Trek episodes. Yeah, exactly, Clint. Exactly. So with these tools, we're just going to be able to do that in kind of endless modalities, right? There could be a work version of that where you've got like a sales version of 1001 Arabian Nights where you just keep engaging a client and perpetually cliffhanging them, or at home, or games with friends. So crazy. Canva.com is Canva. So Canva right now has a thing called bulk create, where you can take a CSV file of like a bunch of Instagram headlines and then pick a design and select, here's the headline I want to be replaced out of the CSV file, and it'll generate you 50 variations of that image. And so that's something you can do with GPT-4. Maybe they're going to make that more native, or the ability to create your own designs with just plain English inputs. That's super cool. This is very much necessary. Digital Danny, you know why? Because we are the irregulars and we do not go away. It's so true. Oh man, y'all are nuts. I like it. Don't use their AI. Okay, that's that. Oh, that was Bigfoot Electro. Don't use their AI, use our AI about Google versus Microsoft versus the other four. Yeah, that's business. Like they're all going to try to get you to use their tool. And listen, here's the good news for us. The good news for us is that ChatGPT happened. ChatGPT launched and hit 100 million users in 8 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever it was, 6 weeks. Why is that a good thing? Because everyone else freaked the fuck out and are like, we got to do AI too. So everyone leaned into this industry. And so now we have all this major competition, this major investment going into this stuff, which means we're the beneficiaries of that. If they're going to get our eyeballs, they're going to have the best shit. It's how Google got to their position of power. Search engines sucked. There was Yahoo. Then there was a handful of search engines that Yahoo, just dominated over. And then Alta Vista came out, and all of a sudden Alta Vista was like the one, and everyone's like, ooh, Alta Vista. And then, Yahoo just sort of dropped off the face of the planet. And then Google came out, and it was just better than anything else that had come before it. And it was the quality of that product. That's why it took off. There were some anti-competitive practices tossed in there for good measure, but when you're dealing with billions of dollars, you're going to have some of that shit. Kyle is the best. Thank you, Becky. Are smartphones here to stay? Will we have integrated personal assistant bots? Yes, we absolutely will. Smartphones are here to stay, and we will have them. Given smartphones have done with text to speech, how will AI do to evolve worldwide language? Watch. Gustavo. Watch. Wait. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Look, Gustavo, you can never get enough of Kyle, but you can't get enough. There's never enough Kyle, Gustavo. Gustavo, listen to Kyle. Listen to him talk. So we've heard from a number of clients that modular content is important to them, getting more efficient with how we create content and how we leverage content. Clienti dicono che il contenuto modulare è importante, rendendo più efficiente la creazione dei contenuti. Behind me, you see these little green boxes. That's how we think about stories at Storyvine. Kyle speaks Italian? No. Break stories down into little atoms, right? Little modules. Dietro di me vedi queste piccole scatole verdi, così pensiamo alle storie. A Storyvine scomponiamo le storie in atomi. Moduli piccoli. The only Italian I speak is Storyvine. Storyvine. Oh man. Anyway, your question about mobile phones and communicating in different languages. I think that we are probably within, we'll see the first announcements of it. NVIDIA's already announced this. They announced it a while ago, but we haven't seen much of it since. But the HeyGen thing, this Italian video right here is from a company called HeyGen. So that HeyGen thing, that's functional right now. You upload a file and like 10 or 15 minutes later, if you pay for it and you get priority rendering, you'll get back, I think they're up to a dozen languages now that it'll translate. The founder of that company said the only thing preventing them from doing that translation in real time is compute power. They just need more GPUs, right? Back to the NVIDIA thing. So I think within a year, we will see technologies that can do real-time translation, and probably within 2 years, something like HeyGen, where you're seeing synthesized, resyncing of lips in any language, or, whatever, up to 60, 120 languages. We're not that far from it. And like, think about the fucking, how profound that is. I mean, I think about it, for communities with disabilities, blind and deaf and neurological disorders and paralysis, like there's all sorts of accessibility here, but there's another kind of accessibility, which is barriers of language. Imagine if you could just do business anywhere. You talk to them, they hear you in their native language, but it sounds like you, and you hear them in your native language, but it sounds like them. The only thing left to do then is figure out the cultural shit. Try not to be an ugly American. It's rough. It's rough because, we are number 37 in education, but we have the attitude of we are number 1. So, I mean, actually, the 5-year out version of AI, Emilio's wife, says I'm doing good with the Italian, apparently with pizza pie. the 5 year out version of the translation tool will do the cultural translation as well. So you can be an obnoxious American and it will appropriately make you deferential in whatever language you're speaking. Sherry Banks is dating Pi. Pi's the best, although it's going to be interesting to see when ye old ChatGPT starts getting chatty. Now that what are we going to do? What are we going to call Pi now that ChatGPT is going to be its own chatty GPT? I tried to introduce him to my mom. She's completely on board. I've listened to it. That's really funny. I want him to have an MC Hammer Time button. Stop. Demo time. That's good. We can do that. You know what I was thinking I should get, because I've got my iPad here. I should get one of those soundboards and just load it up with a bunch of, Gen X kid sounds, TV shows, and Mr. T. I pity the fool. I pity the fool. That's amazing. You can repurpose YouTube content now in any language. Wow. Yeah. I know. We're in for a time. We are in for a time. Can you remind me how to use ChatGPT with internet after they removed it? Yeah, John Z, we can do that. Let's go do that. Let's do a little demo. Little demo. Little demo. Bambo. So you go to your ChatGPT, and first you gotta log in. I ain't logged in. Hey, Buck. Yeah. Why ain't you logged into the internet? I don't know how. I don't think I have it installed on my computer. Oh, Jimmy, you're so silly. Don't watch my password, you freaks. Look at my light. Fucking hackers. I can see everything you're typing, Kyle. I normally wouldn't give a shit about that, but it was my master password for all of my passwords. So let's go ahead and practice a little bit of common sense. Oh my God, the 17-factor authentic. First thing we're gonna do. What do you want to do? Oh, you wanted to know how do I look at shit on the internet with ChatGPT without their stuff? So one thing I was doing. So if you pay for ChatGPT Plus and you can't see plugins or advanced data analysis, you have to go into your settings and the beta features and turn them on. This is where I think some of this new stuff that's coming out is going to show up. I was just kind of hoping something would show up there. So the way you look at stuff on the internet with ChatGPT without it being hooked to the internet is you use plugins. So there's a couple of them. I'm going to turn off social search. Social search was actually a pretty cool plugin. We discovered this last night, I think. Someone was asking me about it. Where is it? Oh, wherever. Oh, there it is. Social search. You could search for like all the stuff from a certain person or certain company across their socials. That was pretty slick. This one here is called Browser Op, and there's another one called Web Pilot that I like a lot. And so you turn on, you go to the plugin store and you search for like web, and then you go find like, here's Web Search AI. There's a bunch of them. There's WebPilot that I have installed. But you just use WebPilot because there's so many of these plugins that are just piles of crap that aren't worth your time. So WebPilot's pretty good. So you basically, the way plugins work is you install them from the plugin store, and then they're kind of available in this is my little personal list. And then in any given chat session, you can enable up to 3 of them. I tend to just enable 1 at a time. And then what I can do is, let me run over and grab some article. Let me go to One Useful Thing. This is Ethan Mollick's newsletter, which I think is really, really good. This is a cool article. Everyone is above average. So this is talking about this idea of the in Boston Consulting Group, they had the consultants use GPT-4, and they saw just dramatic increases in productivity. But the lower performers saw a 43% increase in productivity. And then the top performers only saw 17%. So this article is about leveling up the workforce, which is really cool. So anyway, so I'm going to grab this URL. And then here, I'll show you a cool thing that I did. Well, I think it's cool. Where did I put? There's ChatGPT. So I'm going to say, based on this article. Oops, I didn't give it a prompt. So it's going to tell me I didn't give it a prompt. But I'm going to go to Trello, where I've created my own little prompt board. But because I have ADD, it's not very complete. But oh my God, is this going to make me do 2-factor authentication? I am going to want to smash something. Just let me in. Please, please. Yay, you did it. All right, so in here, I've got a prompt for a tweet thread. So I'm going to go over to ChatGPT and say, stop generating. I'm going to go, there's my tweet thread prompt. And so basically, I'll read what it is here in a second. Let me go grab the URL. All right. Oh, crap. So what I said was, create a 10-segment Twitter thread from this article. I pasted in the URL of the article. Following this guidance, write the thread from a POV of an expert who specializes in explaining technical concepts simply for a curious audience. Keep the language simple, clear, and free of hyperbole. That's important because ChatGPT is really good at saying, this is the most important article in the history of mankind. And it's usually not. Do not use any hashtags. First tweet should clearly state the topic of the article or paper, followed by a thread. First and last tweet should be in the URL, or should link to the URL. The first line of the tweet body. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. And then it makes me a Twitter thread about that article. How cool is that? And I usually have to rewrite the opening tweet and the closing tweet because it doesn't quite nail them the way I like to set them up. But I can literally now just go copy and paste this into a Twitter thread, and it's good. So skill leveling, performance gaps, AI assistance, writing skills, specialists benefit. Remember when I talked about the democratization of specialization? That's what this article is talking about too. Cool. So anyway, you got my password. Thanks, Mandy. That's awesome. So did you hear that on a MacBook, this is crazy. On a MacBook, using the microphone of your MacBook Pro, they trained a large language model to be able to know exactly what you're typing based on the sound of your fingers hitting the keyboard. That's there now. Someone did that now. Hacked. Black hats. reflected in your glasses. Y'all are jerks. Y'all are jerks. Stop picking on me with my passwords. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Wouldn't it nice when you could have your password be like password and like hackers hadn't figured that shit out yet? That was nice. Remember it was cool when you didn't have any data? You had like a floppy drive, and that was like all of your worldly data possessions was on your floppy drive. You're like, yeah, look, I got my great American novel here. Oh shit, I spilled coffee in it. Do I have a backup of this? Oh my God. Oh. Now it's like one click. What do you mean they drained my crypto wallet? I had $100,000 in there. They can't do that. It seemed legitimate. Change your password. Y'all are poo-poo heads. I'm from Indonesia. Welcome. I am from Denver. My name is Kyle. I'm from Denver, Colorado. Welcome to Fantasy Island. Boss, the plane, the plane. Ooh, my kind of place. Can you explain why I don't have code analysis anymore? It's gone. It should now be called Advanced Data Analysis, Sherry Banks. If you're still here, let me know if it's still not there. It should still be there. I just saw it for me. They changed the name of it. Remember when we complained in here? Well, by we, I mean I. Remember when I complained about what a shitty name code interpreter was? It's now called Advanced Data Analysis. Same thing. How does ChatGPT clone? Wait, got it. The room helped me. Oh, good. Awesome, Sherry. Cool. Palm Pilot. Passkeys of the future. Yeah, I think some sort of thing. Have you all seen my... Here, you want to see something cool? There's a bunch of people in here probably haven't seen this. It's going to be cool. You're going to be so impressed. You're going to be like, I didn't know he was that... I knew he was cool, but I didn't know he was that cool. That's so cool. That's super cool. That's really cool. He's cool. I don't know if you knew this, but he's cool. It's very cool. It's very cool. It's so cool. Where is that? He's not that cool. He can't find a little thing he wants to show us. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at this. Look, there's all the tinfoil hat conspiracy people are going to be like, oh, I didn't realize he was that stupid. Look, I have this. This is a World ID, which is Sam Altman's new company, and I was verified at Orb. What does that mean? I had my iris scanned by a machine in a mall in New York City. And I did it on TikTok Live. And then I walked around New York City, and I walked down and looked at my old offices of agency.com and did a little tour of Lower Manhattan. But anyway, what this thing does is it verifies your human uniqueness compared to other people in the database, and then gives you this NFT that is an anonymous proof of humanship, proof of like, so imagine if you built a Twitter-like or Facebook-like social network, but you could only participate in it if you had one of these. It means that every person on that network is verified human, right? So there would be no bots. And you could do this with, I could use this thing to verify that me as a human being wrote this article, and this article is blockchain verified that it hasn't been modified. That shit's going to get really important really soon. Yes, imagine all of the ideas of human endeavors lost on floppy disk due to environmental stuff. And also they just get tired, magnetic media. The phones with the MagSafe on the back, those magnets are strong. Like you toss a floppy disk toward one of those, it's be like, your data's gone. It's all gone. Which came first, HAL with HAL 9000 or Goku with it's over 9000. Goku. That's pretty funny. All right, listen, people, it's getting late in here. Let me jump to the bottom and let me get on out of here. Yeah, yeah, listen about that. We're going to need you to go on ahead and come on in on Saturday. Yeah. Oh, hey, one other thing. We're going to need you to go on ahead and come on in on Sunday, too. Yeah. All right, everyone. Listen, Crispy, see the bloodshot? There's been too much educating tonight. I've been doing too much educating. I can't believe there's so many people in here. Thank you all for hanging out on a Monday night. You were making me howl with laughter. I remember all of that. Good. Awesome. I try to hit all the cultural references as they pop into my ever holy brain. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to get myself one of those soundboards. I think I have one. I think I got one when I was doing a podcast a couple of years back. So I'll have to go dig up some good sounds. Sounds from the 80s. WESN Radio, hard rock and hip hop. Weather on the 8s. All right, sent you some questions on DM. I will do my best to answer them. iOrb, funny, super cool. I did that to skip the line at the airport with Clear for Xmas. Yep, there you go. Although the thing, apparently with the orb, with Sam Altman's company, they're not keeping the biometric data because once they've verified that you're unique compared to the other people in the database, there's no value in them having it because you're blockchain verified. So that was kind of cool. I don't know if I trust that, but I don't really care at this point. I've already given up all my data to Facebook and Google like decades ago. Like they know fucking everything. So what am I just gave you all my password. You have great hair. Thank you. It's on there. So fun for the info. Love the guests too. Yeah, the guests were good tonight. I'll bring up some more guests next time. Herod was on last night and was really good. I'll bring him up again. Everyone present turtles. All right, so let's do a little romper room. Cavruno, good to see you tonight. Clint, of course. Dr. J. Forever Hooked, been seeing you a lot lately. Share Bear, later. Steve-O, thank you. Tobias, good night, irregulars. Love it. Bigfoot Electro, been seeing you as well. User 404-199-63-10597. Next time you come, we want you to come back. Work on the name. Wolfram Jack. That would be a good name. That would be a good name. That would be a really good name. All right, work on your name, but nice. I like Wolfram Jack. See, you got the copywriting in there. You can figure this thing out. I can help with the hair. I know you can. I just need to fill in like the these sort of, I don't know, what's the size of that? Like a silver dollar pancake. But I know, I suppose it makes me look more intelligent. Look at the size of his brain. His head is massive. All right, everyone. Really good seeing you. Peace out. I will see you tomorrow night. And stay curious. Keep learning this stuff. Bye.